Good morning, everyone. Happy almost Halloween. Thanks for being here with me this morning. I'm excited to share this practice with you. I hope it's a lot of fun. We're going to move our body in different ways. We're going to strengthen the muscles around our joints. And we're going to do some twists, which are good for digesting all of the extra Halloween candy we may or may not be eating this weekend. So let's get started by talking about some of the props that you might need. You're going to want to have you might want to have a strap or some type of belt or light hand towel that you could use to give your arms a little bit of extra length. We're going to come into a twisted fold at the end, and this may be helpful to you. You're also going to want to have some type of support surface. So we're going to come into half moon, and a lot of times the full posture is reaching down towards the floor, but it might feel a lot better to use a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a chair, like the seat of a chair, or maybe a sturdy coffee table would be a good height. Another thing you might want to have, and these are optional or just lifts, and so I have a couple folded yoga blankets. You could use any blanket that you have at home, or even some folded beach towels or regular bath towels. And so these are the props you're going to want to have, and we'll get started. So today, normally we start in a comfortable seat. We're going to try out hero's pose, and I'm going to show you how to get into it. So we're going to come up into a high knee position, and so our knees are going to touch, our toe mounds are going to touch, and then we're going to V out our heels to create a little bit of a seat. And we're going to try to sit back on our heels. And so if you're trying this and it feels very uncomfortable, use your towels, or if you do have a block, maybe even a block, to bring your seat up a little bit higher, and this might make it a little bit more accessible. If you're lifting your seat up really high and it still just feels uncomfortable in your knees or in the outer linings of your thighs, I'm going to invite you to do this whole first section in our comfortable seat, or even in a chair or on the edge of a bed or a couch. So find the seat that feels best for you. And we're going to start by doing a couple different versions of a seated cat-cow. And so let's find a nice long spine. Give a shoulder roll back to pull your shoulder blades down and in on your back body. Crown's lifting up towards the ceiling. And then on an inhale, let's extend our arms in front of us and interlock our fingers, palms to touch. Exhale, we're going to begin to press our knuckles away from our body, rounding through our spine, and our gaze is going to drop. This is our seated cat version. And then let your inhale rise your body up, extend your arms overhead, and maybe we reach behind our head, elbows out, to open up our chest, gaze lifts. This is our seated cow. So move at the pace of your breath. Exhale, arms come up and over, round through your spine, gaze drops. And inhale, rise, arms extend overhead, and then maybe come behind our head to open up through our chest. Let your breath guide each movement. So just a moment before you transition into cat, that's when you should begin your exhale. And you begin your inhale just the moment before you transition into our seated cow. Let's take one more cat, one more cow, wherever you are. And when you're done, we're going to release back to our comfortable hero's pose. And check in. If you've tried hero's pose with me and you're starting to feel like discomfort in your feet, in your legs, in your knees, you can change positions at any time. So maybe you come to your comfortable seat now, or maybe if you haven't tried this yet, we give it a try. We're going to do one more posture in this position. So on an inhale, we're going to reach behind our back, palms to touch, interlock our fingers. We're going to press our knuckles back towards the back wall, open through our chest, gaze lifts. And then on an exhale, we're going to bring our hands to the outside back of our right hip and draw our right ear towards our right shoulder. And we'll take a few breaths here. So inhale and exhale. See if you can draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale, see that your spine's still long, crown's still lifted. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, let's return to center and press our knuckles towards the back wall, opening up through our chest. And then exhale, let's take it to the other side. So hands are going to come on the outside of our left hip, and we're going to draw our left ear towards our left shoulder. Take a couple breaths here. Again, on your exhale, see if you can draw your shoulders down away from your ears. And you'll find that long spine. So if, like me, you're starting to find this sway in your low back, hug your belly button in towards your spine, away from your shirt. Long spine. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, rise back up to center and press those knuckles away one more time, opening up through your front body. Gaze lifts. And exhale, let's release our hands back to our thighs. And we're going to come out of hero's pose if we're in it right now. And so from here, we're going to come to hands and knees. You guys can stay facing the short edge of your mat. I'm going to turn just so you can see my body in this next posture. And you may want to have your lift, your towel or your blanket to pad your knees. So we're going to be in this on our knees for a little bit. And so you may want to have that support there. So let's see that our wrists are under elbows, elbows under shoulders, our toes can be tucked, and then our knees are under our hips. So find a nice solid tabletop, press away from the earth, strong, long spine. And on an inhale, we're going to extend our right leg out to the side, toes pointed forward, sole of our foot down on the earth. Exhale, engage through your core, and then on an inhale, begin to walk your fingers towards your body and rise up. So we're going to come into gate pose. You can keep this leg as is, your extended leg, or if you'd like to try to find some external rotation, maybe we roll up and rock onto the back of our heels so our toes are pointed up, or maybe even reaching down towards the earth. So from here, on an inhale, let's extend our left arm overhead. And then on an exhale, we're going to begin to fold to the right. So slide your right hand down lightly on your leg. Come into this fold. So inhale, feel your left rib cage expand. Exhale, pull your shoulder blades down and in on your back body. Inhale, find some lightness, some length in this right torso, so try to avoid collapsing here. And exhale, maybe peek back at your left hip and see that it's still over your left thigh or your left knee. One more breath in, one more breath out. Inhale, let's rise. And exhale, let's release, come back to hands and knees, and we're going to take it to revolved child's pose. So inhale, begin to open up to the right side wall. Right fingertips sweep up towards the sky, gaze lifts. And exhale, thread the needle. So send your fingers through the space between your left arm and your left thigh, and right shoulder is going to come down to the earth. From here, you can keep your left hand planted, or maybe you extend your arm long in front of you, or maybe you even bind it, hinging at your elbow behind your back to open up your shoulders a little bit more. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, plant your left hand by your shoulder. Inhale, unwind, open all the way back up. And exhale, release. So we're going to take that same sequence to the other side. So inhale, let's this time extend our left leg long. Sole reaches the mat, toes are pointed forwards. Exhale, engage through your core. And inhale, begin to rise up. And let's find that leg position that feels best for you. So maybe our toe stays forward this time. Maybe we rock back on our heel. Maybe we reach our toes or the soles of our foot towards the earth by pointing our toes. So come into the position that feels best for you. And then on an inhale, we're going to extend our right arm overhead. And exhale, begin to fold to the left. So left hand slides down our left thigh. Inhale, feel that expansion in your right rib cage. Exhale, slide your shoulder blades down and in on your back body. And inhale, find that length, that lightness through your left torso. Exhale, maybe take a peek and see that your right hip is over your right knee. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, let's release to hands and knees. And we're going to take revolved child's pose on the other side. So inhale, begin to open up to the left. Left fingertips reach towards the sky. And exhale, thread the needle. Left shoulder comes down to the earth. And find the arm position that feels good to you. So you can keep your right hand right where it is. Or maybe you extend it long overhead. Or maybe you bind it around your back to open up through your shoulders a little bit more. Let's take another breath in. Exhale, plant your right hand by your right shoulder. Inhale, unwind, open all the way up. And exhale, release. Nice. So facing the short edge of your mat, let's remove our lift if you used it to support your knees. Find our strong tabletop spine here. Tuck our toes if we've untucked them. Ground down through all 10 knuckles, through both palms evenly. And then what we're going to do is begin to send our hips back and up into our first downward facing dog. So take your time here, pedal out your feet, and try to bring your focus onto your back body. So we're trying to create a long spine. So if you have a gentle bend in your knee or your heels are lifted, that's just fine. Inhale, engage through your core and use those muscles to send your hips up and back. Exhale, reach the crown of your head down towards the earth. Create some space between your ears and your shoulders. One more breath in, maybe find stillness. Exhale, see if you can reach your heels a little closer to the earth. And inhale, let's begin to walk our hands back to our feet. And exhale, we're going to come into our first forward fold. So generous knee bend here. We're still focused on keeping our spine long. So take a few breaths, maybe take a bind even, to let your crown really relax. Back of your neck long. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, let's rise to half lift. So send your thighs back. Crown reaches forwards. Shoulder blades flat on your back body. And we're engaged through our abdominals to support our spine and our low back. Take another breath in. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. And inhale, one vertebra at a time. We're going to rise all the way up to extended mountain. Sweep your arms overhead. Gaze up past your fingertips. And exhale, arms release, mountain pose. So from here, let's make our way to the top of the mat. And we're going to come into our first movement sequence. So let's find our strong mountain pose up here. So bring your toe mounts to touch, V out your heels a couple inches, or maybe our feet are under our hip points. Engage through your thighs, through your abdominals. Maybe give a nice shoulder roll back again to remind yourself to pull your shoulder blades down and in and your shoulders away from your ears. Crown lifts up towards the sky, palms shine forwards. And inhale, begin to shift your weight into your right foot. Exhale, ground down through all four corners of that foot. And then on an inhale, we're going to lift our left foot off the earth, bringing our thigh parallel. And exhale, slowly step back at the pace of your breath into a high lunge, hands on hips to start. So from here, inhale, let's stack our right knee over our right ankle, lift our left heel over our left toe mound. And exhale, let's hug our thighs to the midline. Inhale, we're gonna find this lifting through our back hamstring to keep that back leg strong and straight. And exhale, maybe we tuck our tailbone so that we're finding some length in our low back. Begin to engage through your core, and on your next inhale, arms extend overhead. Roll your pinkies to the midline, draw your shoulders away from your ears. Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. We're gonna stay here for a few breaths, building some strength through our lower body, through our core. So if it feels good, maybe on an inhale, we pull our thumbs back slightly, opening up through our chest. Take another breath in, another breath out. On your next inhale, if you've started to find this arch, rise back up and exhale, hands come to heart center. And so from here, we're going to come into a revolved crescent lunge. So inhale here, find a long spine, create some space. And then on an exhale, we're going to lean our torso forward, begin to try to hook our left elbow on the outside of our right thigh. So inhale here, find length in your spine, and exhale, twist. Try to reach your sternum towards the right wall. Inhale, broaden, widen through your collarbones. Exhale, see that your back leg is still strong and straight. One more breath in, one more breath out. Inhale, rise back up, crescent lunge. We're just gonna be here for another breath. Breath out, breath in. And let's plant our hands on the mat and drop our back knee. So we're gonna have our knee down again for a little bit. If you wanna bring your padding back, your towel or your blanket, I invite you to do so. And let's come into a hip flexor stretch. So begin to send your hips forward and down. And let's keep an opening through our chest. So roll your shoulders back. Maybe we're lifting up to our fingertips. Or maybe we're gonna bring our hands to blocks, or if you have that chair or low table in front of you. We're just gonna pause here for another breath or two. Feeling that front hip begin to loosen up. One more breath in. And on our exhale, we're going to begin to send our hips up and back into this single leg forward fold. So pause here. There's a huge tendency to sit our tailbone down to get into this stretch. And I want you to try to keep your sitting bones lifted. Like if the wall was right behind you, you're trying to sit on that wall. Flex into your right ankle, point it up toward the sky. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then we're going to move at the pace of our breath. So inhale is going to send our hips forward and down, opening up through our chest, opening up through our hip flexor. And then our exhale is going to send our hips up and back, opening up through our low back and our hamstring. So inhale, hips go forward and down. And exhale, sends our hips up and back. So one last inhale to send our hips forward and down. We're going to remove any props that we have. On your next inhale, lift your left knee. Plant your hands, step your foot back to either plank or plank on the knees. And we're going to take the vinyasa of your choice. So inhale here, take another full breath, and exhale, either lower all the way down to the mat or to chaturanga. Inhale to baby cobra or up dog. And then everybody's going to make their way on an exhale to downward facing dog. And we'll meet here. Feel free to go back to pedaling out your feet if that feels good. Come back to that long spine. So inhale, focus on that long spine. And exhale, maybe we find stillness and try to send our heels a little closer to the earth. One more breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, step, walk, or float your feet to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. We'll stay here for another breath. Nice breath in. Full breath out. And then inhale, we're going to rise one vertebra at a time to mountain pose. So give yourself a nice shoulder roll back when you arrive. Maybe close down your gaze for a moment. And we are going to take it to the other side. So find that mountain pose of your choice, whether our toe mounds are touching or our feet are under our hip points. Find that engagement in your thighs and your core. Our shoulders are down away from our ears, so maybe we take that shoulder roll as a nice, gentle reminder. And from here on an inhale, we're going to begin to shift our weight into our left foot. And exhale, ground down through all four corners of that foot. Inhale, let's lift our right foot off the mat until our right thigh is parallel with the earth. And exhale, slowly step back to a high lunge, hands on our hips. So square your hips here, both hip points are pointed forwards. And on an inhale, let's stack our left knee over our left ankle and lift our right heel over our right toe mound. Take a nice grounding breath. So we're really grounding down through our left toe mound and the right toe mound as well. From here, let's begin to hug our thighs to the midline. Inhale, find that lift through our right hamstring, straighten that back leg. Exhale, tuck your tailbone to create that length in your low back. Create some lightness in your upper body, and on an inhale, extend arms overhead. Roll your pinkies to the midline, draw your shoulders away from your ears. We're back in this Anjaneyasana crescent lunge. So just like last time, we'll be here for a few breaths. So maybe on an inhale, we pull our thumbs back to open up through our chest. Inhale here. Exhale, keep that really solid grounding through your lower body so your upper body can stay light. One more breath in. Maybe rise up if we folded or arched our back. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, create some length in your spine. And exhale, begin to fold your torso forward and then hook your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. And from here, inhale, lengthen, create that space in your spine. So on an exhale, you can twist your sternum to shine towards the left wall. Inhale, broaden, widen through your collarbones. Exhale, maybe peek back and see that your back leg is still strong and straight. Let's take another breath in. Another breath out. Inhale, unwind. Arms extend overhead. We're here for just another breath out. Another breath in. And exhale, let's plant both of our hands and we're going to drop our back knee. And so again, if you liked it on the other side, feel free to grab your blanket or folded towel to pad your right knee. Once you're set up, begin to send your hips forward and down and open up through your chest. So come up to your fingertips or maybe bring your hands to blocks if you have them available. Take a couple breaths here. Just settle into this posture. Feel the opening through the front of your body, all the way down through your hip flexor. One more breath in. And exhale, we're going to send our hips back and up into that single leg forward fold. And so I know you can't see because of my block, but as soon as I send my hips up and back, I'm rocking onto the back of my heel. My toes are reaching up towards the sky. I'm going to take a moment here. If you feel like your hips are starting to turn towards the right, see if you can pull your left thigh bone back towards your hip socket. Plug it in there, and then that can help keep both of your hip points pointed forwards. One more breath in. Exhale, release. And then inhale, let's send our hips forward and down. Sole of our foot plants on the earth. And then move at the pace of your breath. So our exhale is going to send our hips back and up. Rock back on that heel. Exhale, hips go forward and down into our hip flexor stretch. Open up through your chest. One last time, exhale, send your hips back and up. And inhale, hips forward and down. Let's remove our props, remove our padding. Plant your hands, and on your next inhale, lift your back knee. Exhale, step your left foot back. So we're in plank or plank on the knees if that feels better. And from here, take that vinyasa of your choice. So exhale, lower all the way down to the mat or to chaturanga. Inhale to baby cobra or maybe up dog. And exhale, take your time, and everybody send your hips up and back. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. Let's take a few deep breaths here. So full inhale, maybe an audible exhale. Inhale, audible exhale. Maybe reach your heels a little closer to the earth. Inhale, audible exhale. And then on your next inhale, step, walk, or float your feet to the top of the mat. And exhale, fold. Pause here for just another breath. Inhale, rise to half lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, one vertebra at a time. Let's rise up to mountain pose. Give yourself a nice shoulder roll back when you arrive. Just like before, maybe we close down our gaze for a couple breaths. Notice what's happening in our body. See where you may notice any sensation or heat building or energy moving. One more breath in. Release that breath completely. And we're going to make our way to face the long edge of the mat. And from here, this is the sequence that's going to have half moon in it. And so what I want you to make sure that you have is your support, whether that's a block or a chair or a coffee table, towards the front of your mat. And you're going to want it in the front and then off to the right a little bit, or the back of whichever way you're facing the long edge. And so you're going to want to have your support back there ready for us when we get there. So once you find the long edge of your mat, let's begin to toe heel our feet into a wide stance. And from here, what we want to do is you can extend your arms out to the side. Maybe see that your feet are under your wrists, but not past them. If your feet don't make it all the way out there to your wrist, that's just fine. What we want to make sure is that we can ground down or support our weight through the pinky edges of both feet. So if you're trying to stretch your legs out really wide and you're losing that grounding sensation, bring your legs in a smidge. And from here, we're going to come into a forward fold. So if you've joined me the past few weeks and you like that arm extended version, you're welcome to take it here. So if you'd like, maybe palms touch, interlock your fingers, and begin to pull your knuckles down towards the earth, opening through your chest, or you can just keep your hands on your hips. And then on an exhale, let's fold at our hips, release our crown down towards the earth. If we have our arms behind us, let them either reach towards the back wall or maybe fall in the direction of our head. Otherwise, you can just let your arms extend and release down to the earth. Let's take another breath in. Create length in your spine. Exhale, see if you can fold a bit deeper. One more breath in. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth. Inhale, press into your palms to find this flat, lifted spine. And then we're going to begin to walk our hands over towards our right foot. We're going to have a bend in our right knee. And then when my right hand gets in front of my right toes, I'm going to turn my right toes about 90 degrees to face the front or the short edge of my mat. And I'm going to press into my palms to send my hips back a little bit. From here, on an inhale, when you're ready, we're gonna rise up to warrior two, but you can bring your hands on your hips to start. So let's get set up with our feet. So we're grounding down through the big toe mound of our right foot and the pinky edge of our left foot, like we're trying to rip the mat in half. Stack your right knee over your right ankle. Back leg strong and straight. And on an inhale, see if you can turn your hip points to face the long edge of the mat. And then on an exhale, see if you can press the outside of your right thigh back towards the back wall. So we're finding this external rotation in our hips. And then from here, see that your tailbone's pointed down. So we're not leaning one way or another. Our weight's balanced, our spine's upright, and then we can extend our arms out to the side, gaze past your right fingertips. On an inhale, reach through your fingertips. So reach your right fingertips forward, your left fingertips back. Exhale, press energetically down towards the earth. We'll be here for one more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, we're going to begin to straighten through our right leg. And exhale, we're going to come into triangle pose. So let's fold at our hips, and we're going to bring our right hand to the inside or outside of our shin, maybe to the inside or outside of our shin, down touching the mat. So inhale, extend your left arm overhead. Gaze can lift or be down at the earth. Exhale, feel that grounding. Keep that back leg strong and straight. It's what's helping us stay up right now. Inhale, find some length through your right side body so we're not collapsing here in this triangle. One more exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, begin to bend into your right knee. And then inhale, rise back up to warrior two. We'll be here for one more breath in. One more breath out. Last inhale. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your front foot. Pivot on your back foot. And from here, we're in this low lunge. And so I want your knee to be stacked over your ankle. If that means scooching your right foot back, that's just fine. Just to find that position that feels good. Inhale here, find a long spine, long back leg. We're going to need that moving into our balancing posture. And next, begin to shift your weight forward. Come up your tippy toe. Rise up, extend through your right leg. We're going to come through warrior three for just a moment. And exhale, begin to turn to the left, plant your right hand on your support surface. And our sternum and our foot are both going to face the left side of the room. So from here, on an inhale, extend your left arm overhead. Maybe our gaze lifts up past our fingertips. Maybe it's down towards our foot. Wherever you are, we're going to find this opposition. So reach through the crown of your head, whichever way our gaze is turning. And exhale, press through the sole of our back foot. That's going to help us keep our balance. Inhale, lift up, send energy upward through your left fingertips. And exhale, ground down through your support surface. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. Good work. Last inhale. And exhale, begin to twist back to warrior three. We're going to pause here for one more breath in. And then exhale, bend into your front knee and slowly drop your back leg down. So we're in this high lunge, hands on our hips. We're just going to be here for one more breath in. One more breath out to get our balance. Then inhale, step or drag your left foot up to meet your right and back to warrior one. Not warrior one, mountain pose. So pause here for a moment. Hands can be on hips or down by our sides. And notice your body this time. Maybe you can feel a difference in sensation between your right leg, your left. Maybe there is no difference. But just take a moment to touch base and see where your body's at. One more breath in. Full breath out. We're going to make our way to the long edge of the mat, so we can do that same thing on the other side. Got to keep it balanced. And so think about where your support surface is. So if you have blocks, you can bring your other block to the back left corner of the mat. Otherwise, what I'm going to have you guys do is maybe move your mat so that when I'm facing the front, my support surface is now on the top left, and you're just going to turn your body this way. So now it's on the back left. And so wherever your support surface is, make sure that when you're facing the long edge of your mat, it's in the back left corner. And so take a minute to get set up, and then we're going to find our wide stance when everybody's ready. So again, find that grounding down through the pinky edges of both of your legs, both of your feet, to help keep your body upright. Hands can come to hips, or if that felt good with your arms extended behind you, you can take that option now. Inhale, find length, so reach your crown up towards the sky. If your arms are extended, maybe pull your knuckles down towards the earth. And exhale, let's fold at our hips. Again, arms come wherever they're comfortable, if they're extended behind. Otherwise, you can just release their hands down to the earth. Take a couple breaths here. And check in with your weight. So we want our weight to be balanced over our arches. So make sure you're not leaning back or leaning forwards too far. Relax through the back of your neck. One more breath in. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth. Inhale, press into your palms to rise into this lifted, long spine, almost like a tabletop. And then begin to walk your hands towards your left foot. Once your left hand arrives in front of your left toes, then you can begin to turn your left toes to face the back edge of the mat or the front edge of the mat, whatever short edge it's pointed towards. Press into your palms to send your hips back. And from here, find that grounding. Keep that grounding through your right pinky toe as you rise up to warrior 2 feet, hands on hips. So from here, inhale, let's stack our left knee over our left ankle, strong and straight back leg. Inhale, maybe we try to turn our hip points to face the long edge of the mat. And then exhale, press the outside of your left thigh towards the back wall. So that external rotation in our hips. If this feels really uncomfortable, you can even turn your right toes in slightly to alleviate some of that stretch. So from here, find that weight centered. And then long spine, extend your arms out to the side. Gaze is past our left fingertips this time. So our arms are at shoulder height, so we're not lifting them really high. See if you can energetically press down, push your palms down towards the earth. Inhale here. Exhale, release. And then inhale, let's begin to straighten through our left leg. Exhale, make your way to triangle. So fold at your hips. Your left hand can come to the inside or outside of your thigh, maybe even reaching down towards the earth. Inhale, right fingertips reach up towards the sky. Gaze can be past your fingertips or down at the earth. Take a couple breaths here. On your next inhale, maybe check in with your left side body. Are you collapsing through your left torso, or is your left torso lifted and long? One more breath in. Exhale, begin to bend into your left knee. And then inhale, rise back up to warrior 2. Just going to be here for one more breath out. One more breath in. And exhale, let's cartwheel our hands down, pivot on our back foot, back to this low lunge. So I am going to move my plant out of the way so I don't take it out in our half moon. So from here, inhale, find a long spine, strong and straight back leg. So we're up on our toe mound, our heels lifted. And exhale, begin to shift your weight forwards, lifting up on your very tippy toes. And then inhale, rise up. We're going to come to warrior 3 for just a moment. And then exhale, we're going to turn towards the right. So plant your left hand on your support. Open your chest, and your right toes are now pointed towards the front wall. Left fingertips reach up towards the sky. We're grounding down into our support surface. And again, we're going to find this long straight line from our crown to the sole of our foot. So inhale, reach your crown towards back wall, front wall, whatever wall it's pointed towards. And then exhale, press through the sole of your back foot. Both sides of our torso are long, they're extended. One more breath in. And exhale, begin to turn back into warrior three. We're going to be here for just one more inhale. And then exhale, begin to bend into your left knee, plant your right leg. Crescent lunge with hands on hips for just a moment. Breath in, breath out, find your balance. And then step or drag your right foot up to meet your left. Our last mountain pose today. Close down your gaze. Come back to your breath. It's easy to lose our breath when our body starts to become physically stressed. And that's one of the challenges to yoga, is to let your breath guide you and to keep it smooth and focused. Let's take one more breath in. And exhale, we're going to come down to seated. And so from here, we are done with our blocks for now, or our support surface, whatever we've been using, so we can keep them off to the side. But you're going to want to have maybe a lift and a strap handy. So we're going to try some upward facing planks. So let's all meet in staff pose. So extend your arms, your legs long in front of you. Flex into your ankles to create this 90 degrees between the fronts of your feet and your shins. Ground down through the backs of your legs and maybe press through the palms, your palms, to support yourself upright. If your proportions don't allow your arms to reach the ground, you can use your lift here to bring the ground up to you. Engage through your core. So this is a very active posture. Give yourself a nice shoulder roll back. Crown lifts up. And from here, we're going to step our hands back. So our fingertips are reaching towards our seat. Begin to engage your thighs, your core. And then on an inhale, we're going to send our hips up, straightening through our elbows. And from here, we want to avoid our neck in this like no man's land. We want to tuck our chin or let your neck release completely. So wherever you are, keep pressing your thighs up, open up through your chest, and see if you can point your toes. So it's coming into a really nice ankle stretch. We'll be here for one more breath in, one more breath out. Last inhale. Exhale, release, and we're going to make our way back to staff pose. So active recovery here, I guess. Keep that core engaged. Press down through the backs of your legs. Take another breath in. Maybe shoulder roll it back. Exhale here. Begin to walk your hands back. And if you found this was really uncomfortable in your wrists, you can bring your fingers out slightly to the side and see if that helps to alleviate some of that pressure. And then as you're ready, engage through your thighs, engage through your core, send your hips up, toes point, find that comfortable neck position of your choice. And again, we're pressing into our palms to extend our arms and open up through our chest. Hug your thighs to the midline. We'll be here for a couple more breaths. Good work. Last breath in. Exhale, release. Returning to staff pose. Not much of a break here. Both very active postures. Take a couple breaths. Maybe a shoulder roll back. Crown's lifting. We have this very long spine here in staff pose. So that requires a lot of engagement in our core. One more breath in. Exhale, begin to walk your hands back into that hand position that feels most comfortable. And from here, this is the last time, I promise. Begin to engage through your thighs, through your abdominal muscles, And then inhale, press into your palms, lift your hips. Find that comfortable position of your neck, either chin tucked or released completely. Point through your toes, hug your thighs to the midline. Take a few deep breaths. So full inhale, open up through your collarbones. Exhale, hug your thighs to the midline. Inhale, lift your hips a little higher. Exhale, point through your toes. Nice, one more breath in. One more breath out. And then release. And from here, let's take a nice resting posture. So bend into your knees, and you can either fold over your thighs if that feels good in your low back, or if this is uncomfortable, you can keep your hands behind you and maybe find a gentle sway in your knees from side to side. Come back to your breath. Nice. So from here, we're going to come into a couple of new postures before we make our way onto our back body. And this first one can be a little bit challenging if you have some tightness in your low back like me, and through your hamstrings. And so I'll offer a couple of variations. Take the one that works best for you. And so the first thing you can do to make this posture a little bit easier, and I would definitely recommend it, is bring your seat up onto a lift. So grab a folded towel or 2 or 3 and lift your hips so that they're above your knees. And we're going to come back to our staff pose just for a moment. So from here, inhale, long spine. Exhale, we're going to bend into our right knee. Sole of our foot come to the earth, and our foot, or our heel and our foot, are going to be in line with our hip, so the straight line forwards. And so we're going to add an upper body component. If it doesn't feel good in your body, what I'm going to have you do is just either hang out here and work on keeping this straight spine, stretching through your low back, or maybe grabbing an extra couple lifts and practicing fold from here. Otherwise, everybody else, make sure that you have your strap accessible. So whether it's a strap, a belt, or a hand towel, we're going to have one part of the strap, one end, over here by our right hip. So I know you can't see it. It's right on the right side of my hip. So if I plant my hand down, I could grab it. And I want to make sure that another part of the strap is going to be here behind my back, because I'm going to be reaching my hands around and I'm going to want to grab behind me and to the right. So from here, on an inhale, begin to extend your right arm in front of you. So our right arm's on the inside of our right thigh. And we're going to begin to wrap our arm around our shin. And we're not going to make it very far. Maybe our hands on our hips or resting down here by our foot. And then we're going to begin to extend our left arm long. Turn our thumb down. So find this internal rotation in our shoulder. And then begin to sweep your arm around, hinge at your elbow. And the goal here is to interlock our fingers. If that's not happening, that's what our strap is for. So grab one end of the strap with your left hand, the other end of the strap with your right, and then maybe you're walking your hands towards each other and see how close you can get. So from here, what we want to do is inhale, broaden through your collarbones, and exhale, turn so that our torso is still square. We're still facing the front of the room. And then this is where our fold comes in, and this is why it's helpful to have a lift. So inhale, create this long spine, create as much space as you can in your back, and then exhale at your hips, try to fold forwards. And so if you're like me, the fold does not look like much, and that's okay. Touch base with your body. If this is very uncomfortable for you, remember you have the option to use your strap or the option to come back and practice without the arm component. You can also keep lifting your seat up higher. So sit on a stack of folded towels or blankets. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. Inhale, release our arms. Give your shin a good to your chest. And then we're going to step our right foot over our left thigh, so our sole is planted on the outside. And inhale, create a nice long spine. We're going to come into a seated twist. Exhale, begin to twist to the right. So right hand can come behind us. And our left arm can either hug our left thigh, or maybe it feels good to hook your elbow on the outside. Whatever feels nice for you. Inhales, we're going to be reaching our crown up, grounding down through our sitting bones to create a lot of space in our spine. And exhale, from our core, we're trying to twist a little bit deeper, shining our sternum towards the right side wall. Take a couple breaths here. Our left leg is still strong and grounded into the earth. Our left ankle is still flexed. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, unwind, and release. So from here, take that resting posture that feels good. Either roll or fold over your thighs, or maybe bring your hands back and find that gentle sway in your knees. We're going to take it to the other side in a moment. And just remember, be kind to your body. This is a hard posture. And so take the variation that feels best for you. Every single one of them are going to give you benefits. They're going to give you some lengthening through your low back, through your hamstrings. So when you're ready, been kind of delaying it here for a minute, let's come back to step pose. Extend your legs long. And maybe now's a good time to shift your strap. So from here, I'm going to have my strap next to my left hip so I can grab it when I reach around with my left hand. And then I'm going to make sure that whatever I have, whether it's my towel, my belt, my strap, also reaches right behind me so I could grab it with my right hand. So strong staff pose, flexion in our ankles, ground down through the backs of our legs. Roll your shoulders back, palms down on the earth or up on a lift. And from here, let's begin to bend into our left knee. So sole of our foot lands on the earth, our heels in line with our hips, or just our left hip. And we're going to take whichever variation feels best for you. So again, remember, this is an option. We can sit here and just pull into our shin to help lift and lengthen through our back body. And maybe that's what we need right now to just find some length in our low back. Maybe we lift up really high and we sit on several folded towels and we're working on a slight forward fold just from here. Or maybe you're going to come into the posture with me. So inhale, let's extend our left arm long in front of us. Now we're on the inside of our left thigh. And exhale, begin to wrap your arm around your shin. And so again, that's just, it might come to your hip, might come to the ground next to you. Just going to pause here for a moment. And then inhale, we're going to extend our right arm. Exhale, find that internal rotation, that twisting down of your thumb. And then begin to sweep your arm around. And we're trying to grasp our fingertips here and interlock our fingertips. And so if this is not accessible, this is why we have our strap, to begin to walk your hands a little bit closer. Wherever you are, on an inhale, widen through your collarbones, pull your right shoulder back, your left shoulder back. And exhale, square your torso towards the front of the room. Or so your sternum is shining over your big toe. And from here, you can stay right here and work on just finding this long spine. Or maybe we inhale and find that long spine first, and exhale, begin to fold forward. So again, we're not really rounding here, not that I could round, but we're not reaching our nose towards our knee. We're trying to reach our chest towards our knee. So our gaze is past our big toe. Let's take a few breaths here. Maybe take a deep breath and send that breath to your lower belly. That helps when a posture expects a lot of sensation in your lower back. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, let's release our arms. Hug our knee to our chest. And inhale, let's step our left foot over our right thigh. So my sole is planted now on the outside, towards the right side of my mat. Hug your knee to your chest. Find this upright seated position. Ground down through the back of your leg. Keep that flexion in your right ankle. Inhale here, create space in your spine. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. And exhale, begin to fold to the, or twist to the left. So left hand comes behind. You can either hug your thigh, or maybe we press and hook the outside of our right elbow into the outside of our left thigh. And wherever you are, we're going to take a few breaths. So inhale, create space. And exhale, twist. Inhale, create space. So find that lifting through your crown, ground down through your sitting bones. And exhale, see if from your core you can twist a little bit deeper. Try to avoid leaning too far back or forward so our spine's straight, even though we're in this twist. Let's take one more breath in, one more breath out. Inhale, unwind, release your legs, bend into your knees, and find that resting posture that feels good. So maybe we're leaning back and taking a gentle sway from side to side, or maybe we're folding over our thighs, relaxing through the back of your neck, crown lowering. Take another breath in, another breath out. And we're going to make our way onto our back body. So remove your strap, remove any lifts, any number of lifts you may be sitting on, and make your way onto your back body however it feels best. And so if you want to hold the back of your thighs or maybe press back into your elbows, slowly lower yourself down onto the earth and come into this full body stretch. So arms extend overhead. You can point through your toes. Take a nice breath in. And then exhale, we're going to walk our hands and our feet towards the right side of the mat, coming into this left side body stretch. So inhale, feel your left rib cage expand. Exhale, maybe we cross our right or our left ankle over our right. Maybe we grab our left wrist with our right hand just to deepen that stretch a bit. Inhale here. Exhale, see if you can feel both of your shoulder blades, both of your sitting bones grounded down into the earth. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, return to center, full body stretch. And exhale, take it to the other side. So walk your hands over to the left side, your feet over to the left side. Feel that stretch in your right side body. Maybe if it feels good, we cross our right ankle over our left. Maybe we grab our right wrist with our left hand. Exhale, really ground down through both shoulder blades, both sitting bones. So we're not turning onto our side. We're just stretching into our right side body. Let's take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then inhale, one more full body stretch in the center. And exhale, let's hug our knees to our chest. So bend into your knees, grab your shins. And feel free to take any last minute posture that feels good. So maybe you hang out here and rock from side to side. Give your low back a nice massage. Maybe you roll through your ankles. Maybe you take a happy baby, so you extend your arms between your thighs, grab the outsides of your feet, and then open up to shine the soles of your feet up towards the sky. Wherever you are, just take another couple breaths. We're going to make our way to Shavasana. Take your time getting there. Maybe you stop halfway and give yourself another hug. Then as you're ready, extend your legs long and create some space so you can split your legs where both of your feet are almost out to the long edges. Let your toes roll out. Relax through the inner lining of your thighs. Let your back melt into the earth. Let's turn our palms to shine up towards the sky. Close down your gaze completely if you haven't done so already. And then relax through the muscles of your face, your jaw, your neck. And I'm going to leave you here in Shavasana to take as much time as you need to rest and find stillness. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.